What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for tuning in for another Marvel Rivals video. The first thing that we need to address is the name change. I told you guys a little while ago I was going to change my name. I was just kind of waiting until I was getting a little closer to that 1,000 subs point, and I'm getting very close to it right now. The new channel name is Bay Whale Gaming. I changed it from Jeffinite because, well, I made that name as a joke, I guess, in the beginning. I thought it was kind of funny because I was really only playing Jeff, but I don't want my channel to be limited to me playing Jeff or me playing Marvel Rivals either. You know, at some point, maybe I want to play a different game, and I would love to be able to do that and not just kind of be pigeonholed to something because of my name. So I made the decision to change it to Bay Whale Gaming. I also changed it in game, so if you have added me and you're wondering where Jeffinite went, well, I'm still here, just a different name. This video that we're going to talk about right now is, well, you saw the thumbnail, why you suck at Marvel Rivals. I feel like I'm in a really good position to have this conversation, and the reason for that is that I'm just like you guys, right? I'm not a pro gamer. I am not in the top of the leaderboard. I'm not that 1% of people playing this game. I am learning every single day. I'm taking advice from other people. I'm getting VOD reviews from other people. I am constantly looking inward so that I can learn how to be better. And because I feel like we are all kind of in that same, percentage of the player base, I feel like the things I have learned about myself that I would say, okay, I do that, and because I do that, I suck. I feel like I can say those things to you guys, and hopefully you can take these statements that I'm going to make, you can take these truths, reasons why maybe you suck, and you can learn from it. You can look at it from an educational standpoint, not trying to make fun of anybody here. I'm not trying to say I'm better than you, probably better than I am at this game, but these are very good and important points to talk about, and it will hopefully improve your gameplay the exact same way that it improved mine. I'm sitting in Grandmaster 3 now. I was stuck in Plat 2, basically, pretty much since the beginning of season 2.0, and it took me until, a couple weeks or a week or so into 2.5 to even progress into Diamond. So I've learned a lot, and I'm going to tell you from my personal experience why I sucked, why you might suck too. So let's hop right into it. Take a look at this. I made a slideshow, okay? This is the real deal. I'm taking this seriously. This is a really important video in my mind. Maybe this is over the top, I don't know, but hey, I made a cool logo. Check that out. I like the whale logo a lot. This is why you suck at Marvel Rivals. Let's just get right into it, shall we? The number one reason I think you might suck at Marvel Rivals and you might have a hard time ranking up is because you're coming at the game with the wrong approach. This is not team deathmatch. I see so many people, even now still playing in Grandmaster, trying to progress even farther. I still feel that people are looking at the wrong stats. They care way, 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 way too much about the wrong things in the game, right? It's all about objective control. This is an objective-based game. It's basically King of the Hill and, the payload, the convoy thing. If you are not controlling the objective, you will not win, period. It doesn't matter if you can play as Spidey and hang out at the spawn and pull people off to their death. If you're not helping the objective could have its own, crazy, horrible fight situation going on that your team is losing, and you're just off doing nothing, just trying to, get kills. It's not as important as it probably feels. Everyone wants to chase the stats. It's in our DNA to chase those stats as gamers, but this is an objective-based game, okay? By controlling the objective, you're supporting your team, and then you're going to get elims as a result, but the elims are the least important thing. It becomes a byproduct of just controlling the objective, okay? Don't be greedy. Don't chase kills, just hold the objective, and you will do so much better. Objective presence is everything. Another reason why you might suck at Marvel Rivals is because you're stat padding. Again, this is mostly what I was talking about before, caring too much about your stats, but we're going to look at the stats here, and I just want to make something very, very clear about how the stats in this game function. This is a really good game to look at, and mostly because we lost, to be honest with you. This becomes a really, really relevant match to take a look at, because I went 40, 16, and 35 with 17 final hits, 22.7k damage, 13.6k damage blocked, and 26,000 healing. Okay, this is a pretty sound game for me as a Jeff player, right? But we lost. Now, the reason for that would be, I would say, would be team comp. Our Spider-Man, he played, Squirrel Girl and Black Panther, but only a little bit. Only a little bit. He played Spider-Man the entire time, and you know what he was doing? Trying to pull people off the map. He's trying to be cute with his gameplay. He's just trying to get some final hits. He didn't even come close to our Iron Fist. But this is what he was doing. Like, he's stat padding. All he's trying to do is get kills and not die. And he's trying to do the fancy meme play, pulling him off the map. It doesn't work. It's not helpful. He was never around the objective. And when it came down to it at the end, what we really needed in this game was objective presence. Cap wasn't doing it. Cap was running around chasing kills, being thirsty, and dying a lot. I mean, I died a lot too, but we had a Black Panther that was constantly diving me. So we didn't have anyone on our team that was willing to make a swap. Everyone just cared about their stats. And when we were talking in the game chat, I opened up the text chat and I was like asking people to swap if they could. He just kept saying, it's not my problem, I'm getting kills. You see my point? Stat padding does not help your team win. If you care only about your personal stats, you are not helping the team, like straight up. I also want to make note of the SVP and MVP thing here. People weight this too much. People care way too much about SVP and MVP. It's pretty meaningless. If you have a decent game with Jeff, you're going to get MVP or SVP, like straight up. The same thing works with Ultron right now. You're pretty much getting all of the stats. So you're just gonna get it. Even if you didn't do anything really impactful or meaningful, you're gonna get it. So don't like put weight on this, okay? And just in case you guys don't know, these are damage assists. These are not kills. These are like the actual kills. These are just final hits. But again, you could come out of spawn and just take one shot and get a final hit. It doesn't really mean you did the work. So you got to make sure you're helping the team. Okay. So don't stat pad and then don't use your stats to like basically have an excuse for not wanting to swap or not wanting to do anything differently during the game because you're like, oh, I have 32 kills and 15 final hits. I don't have to change. It wasn't my fault. Well, it's not really how it works. These are your deaths, obviously, right? These are your assists. You're going to get this for healing. Whenever you apply healing or buffing, I believe, to a teammate and they get an elimination within a certain amount of time of that healing or that buff being applied to them, then you get an assist for that. So that's why you don't really see these too much on like on the duelist characters. You see a lot of them racked up a lot more on strategists. A good example would be this win right here that I just had earlier today. That's a lot of assists. That's a lot of healing. This was a crazy match too. Crazy match, by the way. Really, really fun. It was a well-deserved win. It was pretty difficult, but anyway, that's my little spiel on stats. So let's dive into this just a little bit more, okay? The only stat that matters is the victory, okay? Damage assists, we talked about that. You might be validating your play with your damage assists and, well, feel like you don't need to swap heroes. But like I just said, don't do that. Those are just damage assists. You can get damage assists with other people. You can get final hits with other people. Don't worry too much about your deaths. I see some people that really just don't want to die, so they're always just running away and hiding, and you're not helping your team, okay? Staying alive, yes, it's valuable, but at some point in time, you got to weigh out, I'm staying alive, running away for 10, 15 seconds, not really being that helpful. I could have just died and come back with my team and then been helpful. And then now I don't have to we're not staggering, because sometimes you can be really avoiding the deaths and you end up dying when your team gets back then anyway. And now they're without, a healer or a tank or a duelist or something like that. So don't worry so much about deaths. You're going to die. Okay. There's nothing wrong with it. You're going to die. Try to limit it, but don't try to avoid it completely. Final hit validation, we talked about this a little bit too when we were looking at the stats. Don't feel like because you have a high final hit count that you are actually impactful. We can see it very clearly with that game, with the Spider-Man. Just playing the cute meme Spider-Man play where you're just pulling people off the edge and you're just hiding by their spawn all game, not part of the team fights really until you get your ult. It's just not, cool, you got the final hits, but you never help the objective situation, which is the whole point. It's the whole point of this game. If the point is to try and pull off as many people as possible, okay, well then you won. But, that's not the point. MVP and SVP farming, again, don't weight this too heavily. This is not a relevant statistic. This is not a relevant notation at the end of the game. It doesn't really matter. I think one of the best things that we can all do for ourselves in this situation here is just look at MVP and SVP and say, it doesn't matter. Flat out, it does not matter. You can get MVP or SVP, and somebody else on the team could have been massively more impactful to the objective control than you, and understandably have been the one that actually was the reason you won that game. But the algorithm's going to give it to you because you're the one producing the most stats. So that's just kind of how it works. This one's a big deal, okay? You might suck because you can't drop your ego. Look, I'm just going to say this, all right? I'm not even going to apologize for it. You are not God's gift to gaming. Don't be toxic. Don't feel like you're so good. You don't have to make a change. It's everybody else's fault that something's happening and you're the one that's always pointing fingers. Just cut it out. Just drop that whole attitude. I don't know. It's just really a thing in this game, and it's just a thing in online gaming more and more these days. I think because of how accessible streaming is and the ability to watch other people play, and then you see what they're doing and you just want to take that into your game, and like maybe you're doing it okay, but like the stuff with the team's not coming together. It's not the team's fault. You need to play as a team. This is not 1v6 and then you just hope your teammates pick up the pieces. It's not how this works, okay? You suck because you have a terrible ego. Just drop it. Be willing to work as a team, be willing to learn, be willing to admit when you are making mistakes, and be willing to change in the game so you can be more helpful. This is a big one. I would say that this is probably the primary reason that people suck. They can't flex. You have to be able to play more than one hero. Being a one trick is just not an option, okay? You need to learn a couple heroes from each role. It's incredibly important, and it's going to help you win more and help your teammates more. I have been really personally focusing on trying to learn 2 to 3 vanguards, and then the same for duelists and strategists, so that I can appropriately flex, and then I can also work around bans too. I'm finding I main Jeff. He's my favorite to play, but I'm very good with Rocket as well as far as healing goes. So I can flex a little bit there. I can play some Luna. I'm not super good. I need to work on that a lot more. She is getting banned a lot, but I do see Jeff get banned sometimes, and I don't ever play Cloak. I just kind of don't like the play style, so I don't play her. I probably should learn, truthfully, I should. But I've been focusing on learning Strange and Magneto and Emma, and for duelists I've been working on Hela and Punisher and Squirrel Girl and Star-Lord a little bit, and I've also been working on Scarlet Witch. So I'm trying to like really round this out, and it has helped win games recently for me, being able to swap appropriately. Just the other day, I had a game that I was playing where we were on defense first on Yggdrasil, and we had a Penny Parker on our team. I played Jeff and just kept bubbles on him, and he said that was the only tank that he could play, but it's perfect for defense, right? Especially on that map. So I was like, yeah, play that. We had a Rocket on our team. I played Jeff. I healed him as best as I could. I kept him, just alive. He didn't die that entire first round. They didn't even get the first checkpoint. He was super good. I made that work for him. Then he didn't want to play tank the second round, and I said, okay, no problem. I'll play Strange. You can play Jeff, because he said Jeff was his best strategist. So I'm like, cool, let's swap them. Let's swap roles. And we just absolutely pushed through with no problem whatsoever. This is my point. You need to be able to flex, not just for yourself, so that you can say, okay, it's not really working. I'm countered right now. I need to play a different hero, but it helps you help your teammates out, because then you can flex together and you can play different roles when people have, things that they do better on offense or defense or on specific maps. And then you're able to work together to overcome the team and avoid counters. Vanguards are extremely important. They are pivotal to objective control and presence. You need to know how to play right now in the current meta. You have to know how to play Magneto and Emma, okay? Strange too, yes, but Magneto and Emma, you need to know how to play them. So spend some time on them. For the duelist, this is a high damage output role here. You have a lot of options to choose from. There are tons of duelists. For this role, I would say just find the play styles that you like and then focus on those heroes. And you can't really go wrong, right? There are certainly the meta picks right now, which I listed previously. You're going to be looking at Hela, Star-Lord, Punisher, Squirrel Girl, Scarlet Witch, just as examples, okay? Pick from those, right? Find the playstyle that you like, and then pick from those and just spend some time so you can really flex that role, and you can help your team out as much as you can. For the strategist, healing is paramount, okay? That your team cannot survive without good healing, so it's very important that you understand how to play, not just that role in general, but you have at least 2 or 3 of them mastered, okay? Not every healer works for every situation. You can get easily countered. So you want to make sure that you can adjust appropriately and make changes so that it's fitting the team needs a little bit better. Sometimes Jeff is a great pick. Sometimes Rocket is clearly the better pick. Okay, so you just really need to read the situation and then understand when you need to make that change. Now, a couple smaller reasons here to definitely take a look at. You might be playing too passively. This is something that I see myself doing sometimes, and I also see my friends doing sometimes, or just people that I watch on live stream too. You can tell when someone's playing too passively. They're just going through the motions, kind of like, yeah, I'm just kind of, do my thing. I hope that my team really like picks up the slack. They're the one, as long as one of them pops, we'll be fine. It's not really a good way to play the game. If you're playing too passively, maybe just take a break or change your hero so that you start feeling a little bit more involved or something like that. It can get really easy like over time for it to feel a little monotonous playing the same hero over and over and over again, or playing the same role over and over again. It's good to make some changes, keep the game fresh for yourself, keep yourself more engaged, all right? Don't let yourself play passively. Also, it could be that you're not warming up. This is something I started doing recently and it has become extremely helpful for me. I spend 3 to 5 minutes, I would say, before I play any competitive matches, just in the practice range, spending time in there, working on my aim, working on my movement, playing around with some different heroes. I do some of the duelists, the vanguards, I do the strategists as well. I just play a little bit, get myself warmed up. It's extremely, extremely helpful. The other one here, just noticed that my camera is blocking the awesome little picture I put here. I'll just show you guys real quick. Look at that. That's pretty cool. Anyway, you never VOD review. And what I mean with this is you probably never look at your own games. You probably don't watch any of the leaderboard players. You can easily look at their games, right? Let's pop in so I can just show you what I mean. When you click on the icon on the top right and then you go into your history, you can look at all of your games from recently and you can watch them back, and you can also watch from other players' perspectives. If you go to the leaderboard, you also have the ability, as long as their profile is not made private, you have the ability to watch the top tier players' games. So you can, and the same thing is like from your own personal history, you can swap between all of the different heroes. So just because, let's say you want to watch Rush, I don't know if his is available or not, his account might be private, but let's say you want to watch his game, but he personally doesn't play the hero that you like to play. Somebody else in that lobby might be playing that hero. So you can just go watch that. They're part of that top tier gameplay, even though they might not be ranked 1. They're in that lobby, right? They're in that match. This is an incredible tool to utilize. You can move forward and backward. You can watch clips back. You can scan through on the bottom bar to see like when kills happen. So you can go through and check all that out. It's an extremely valuable tool. You can also watch streamers on YouTube, Twitch. The Marvel Rivals Ignite tournament is happening as we speak right now. Those live videos are up. You can go back and watch those pro level games. These guys are playing for money in these games. And you want to see how people play at their highest potential with the highest level of focus with what are considered to be the best heroes in the game. Go watch those. You can learn so much from those. Team compositions, how they play their heroes, how they hold the objective, where they're positioning for healing, all of that stuff. It's such an incredible tool. If you are not watching your games back, or at least just watching other high-level gameplay, you're really selling yourself short. I just mentioned positioning, and look, one of the reasons you might suck is because your positioning is bad. In games like this, positioning is literally everything. If you have bad positioning, you will not play well, and you will just be taken advantage of by the other team. A lot of people come from previous hero shooters like Overwatch, or a lot of people have played League of Legends or Mobile Legends as an example. So they're very aware of different heroes having different skill sets, and you have to play the maps a little bit differently, and you need to be angled in certain ways, or definitely not be in certain places too. But for some of you, this may be the first game that you ever played like this. This is the first hero shooter I have ever personally played. I never played League of Legends, but I did play Mobile Legends, which was like the knockoff version on the mobile phone. Super good game. Not a knockoff in a bad way. It's amazing. Came out before they released Wild Rift. Mobile Legends is far better. But anyway, I never played Overwatch. So playing an actual hero shooter, this is the first time for me. I come from a competitive background. I used to play Halo 2 and Halo 3 at a professional level. I used to play Call of Duty Modern Warfare and Modern Warfare 2. But this is back in the day, right? I'm old. I'm 38. Okay, it is what it is. I used to play those games at a professional level, but this is different, right? This isn't just about coordinating with a team and having good accuracy. There's so much more at play here because of skills and the way that the kits function and how teamwork comes together to make the objective play happen. So positioning is so important. And it's maybe the thing that gets overlooked the most. If you find out you're having a really tough game and you can't really figure out why, go back and watch the video. You may notice that you're not close enough to your team. You may be too far, just like away from what's going on, so you don't have anyone that you can go to for assistance. Positioning is important, and if your positioning is bad, you suck. Okay, this is something you can fix though, right? This isn't something that's like difficult to fix. Fixing your positioning is quite easy. It just takes recognizing that and then spending time with the heroes that you like to play on each map and learning where to position, and then acknowledging when you need to move with team fights, right? Focus on that ebb and flow, the push and pull of the fights, and how you position it based on where the enemy is and your teammates are. And look, you can fix it. You can fix it very, very easily. To dive a little bit more into the positioning, it's all about how you work the map, right? You need to maintain a line of sight of your team, an LOS of your team, the objective, areas of approach, where you can duck for cover, and areas of the map you can work for peeking and ambush opportunities, okay? Good positioning makes it easier for you to do your job with whatever role that you pick. So by positioning poorly, you're just making the game harder. By taking the time to learn how to position better, you're going to make the game easier for yourself and you're going to perform better and help your team a lot more. So it's a win-win, right? For strategists, the key things here are to make sure that you can see your team. It's far too often that I see strategists in my team or in VODs that are just like, they're too pushed back. They can see some of their team, but they can't see all of them. You need to make sure that you position in a way that not only can you run to your team if you see someone about to dive you so that you can get some support from your team, but you need to make sure that you can heal all of your team. It's very, very easy to play too far back as a strategist sometimes. I think this is something that's very common. You need to be with your team, ready to help at the objective, not too close, right? Because you don't want to get focused. There's a balance there, right? Make sure that you are available for your team when they need it. If you are backed up so far that all you're doing is healing your other strategist or maybe like one or two of your duelist players and you can't see the tanks who are pushing the objective, that's a problem. That's a positioning issue. You need to make sure that you can see them. For the duelists, the positioning problem with duelists often comes from honestly just like thirsting the elims. It's very easy to push like too far, to overextend, to make yourself, unfortunately in a position where you don't have anywhere to go. And then you don't have any support because you tried too hard for something that wasn't happening. Always remember as a duelist that if you decide to chase a kill, if you decide to push for that, the person that you're chasing is backing up to where their team is going to be coming from. So even if you eliminated the whole team, in 10 seconds, they come back. If you're chasing someone and they're getting close to their spawn, guess who's going to be coming out of that door? The entire team. And now you've pushed up way too far. You don't have cover. Maybe you use some of your movement skills if your hero has them, and you're probably not in sight of your strategist anymore unless they happen to go for the dive with you. It is good as duelists to be able to dive a little bit and work the map in that way, but there's a time and a place, and there's a balance. Don't overextend too far. Make sure that you are utilizing cover. You have a good angle to where you can support your strategist and you can support the objective in your vanguards. It's just very important to make sure that you position super well so you can optimize your damage output as well as the ability to keep yourself out of harm's way. Most duelists are glass cannons. Some of them are not so much, like Mr. Fantastic. It can be like right up in the fight, but most of them can't. You need to work on your positioning and make sure that you are well protected. Now for the vanguards, you need to be positioning yourself around the objective. Work the map a little bit. There's always cover that you can play off of. You can even use the objective like in the convoy. You can use the convoy itself as cover. It's a really good way to play the game. Shielding from attacks is extremely important as well, and you're going to get that with Magneto and with Strange, so definitely focus on those because you can shield yourself from attacks and your team from attacks. It's just a really, really big deal. Also make sure that you're aware of your teammates and that you're capable of peeling to help them out if they're getting dove or if the enemy team happens to have rotated on you. It is not uncommon to see tanks make the same mistake that duelists make and overextend chasing an elim. Don't do it. There's no reason to be running people back into their spawn. You're just fighting them at full health constantly while you are, hoping that your healers can keep up with it. But it's not the same when they're just like backing in and out of the base. Don't overextend. This is very common to see with like Thing, Thor, Captain America even. Don't do it. There's no reason to push so far unless you already have the full support of the team with you. But sometimes I see it. I see it happen. I know you guys see it too. And if you do play Vanguard, I'm sure that you're guilty of overextending. Look, sometimes it happens. Sometimes you think that you can make that push and it just doesn't work out. Sometimes you think you can make that push and it does, and it's awesome, and that's great. But again, there's a balance, right? And consistency here with this is key. It's not okay to just be well positioned for a little bit of the game. No, it's got to be all the time. A slip up in positioning can cost you the game. Sometimes at the very end of it, right? It's extremely, extremely important. And the more you work on your positioning, the better your play is going to get, the more you can help your team, and the more often you're going to win. We're going to take a really quick look at a good example of positioning here. From me as a strategist player, me playing as Jeff here, this is just a really good example to look at for what we were talking about for a couple of reasons. One, you'll notice how well I do at making sure I can see the rest of my team. You'll also notice how I react to getting dove and how I don't waste any time on it, right? So let's just go ahead and hit play here. This was a really fun game to play. I like to be a little bit farther back normally, but I had somebody do a VOD review again, shout out XXJordo for doing a VOD review of my video and telling me I was playing too far back, because I immediately changed that and it has greatly impacted my gameplay. Being up and part of the fight close to it is certainly more helpful than playing too far back. Helps a lot with my positioning, making sure that I can get my bubbles on the tanks to keep them, with the heal over time happening on them, and also it gives them the additional 15% like extra healing. So being close to them and making sure I keep them bubbled is extremely important. You'll notice that this Hulk is very, very, very divey. He kind of goes back and forth, and we do a really good job of like maneuvering around this area and ensuring that we're kind of helping each other. But at some point here, we do get pushed back, and you're going to see that this Hulk decides to like fully dive me. And the way that I played that situation, honestly, is like, in my opinion, it was pretty good. So here we go. He's pushing me here. I'm just pushing him back with the Aqua Burst. I wait for him to jump, and then I swim away from him to get back to my team, because there's no point in me wasting time on him, right? I need to get back here to heal. That is what I'm talking about with positioning. It would be easy, I think, in some of those circumstances to have Hulk dive you like that, and you just keep backing up and keep backing up. But he's already doing his job. He doesn't have to get the elim on you. If he is stopping you from healing your team, mission accomplished. So I took a moment to show him he can't mess with me, and then I just left him and I go back to healing my team. We'll watch this section of the video back just one more time to show you what I'm talking about again. So as he dives here, I back up a little bit, I push him off of me just so he knows he can't mess with me, and then I just go right past him after he uses his jump so I can get back to healing my team. I even do a little check to make sure he's not running up on me, but he was going around the side again because he knew he wasn't going to be able to get me. This is the difference between, well, playing passively for one and playing actively, being hyper aware and being aggressive about how you're playing your role, but it's also a really good example about positioning. I did not let him push me out of position. This is extremely, extremely important. And those are my reasons, guys, but the good news is all of this can be fixed. None of this is going to just be permanent and make you suck at Marvel Rivals forever. All of these things can be fixed, and very easily as well. So for the next steps, guys, you got to be willing to improve. This comes with dropping the ego, okay? Accept the fact that you can be better. You are not the best player in the world and everybody else needs to mold to you. It's not the case, okay? Are you in the top of the leaderboard? Did you just win a Marvel Rivals tournament? No, you didn't. So you can improve. You need to recognize your faults. Watch your VODs, watch other people's VODs, watch live streams. There's just so much information there that you guys can watch. And if you have not been watching the Ignite tournament gameplay, go do that. Go watch that, because it's going to help you see who people play as and how they play when they're playing for money. If you want to see the highest level of gameplay, that's where you're going to find it, okay? Go to the Marvel Rivals YouTube page, look up those tournament games. They're all on there right now. Make sure that you invest in the right heroes. I just did a tier list, okay? I will put a card up here at the top for you guys to look at that. It's the priority tier list, and I made that tier list based on the tournament gameplay that's happening right now, so it's extremely relevant, okay? When you watch this video, make sure that you watch that. The card will be at the top, like I said. Keep up to date with tier lists and who is the meta so that you know that you are spending the time learning the most relevant heroes in the game. The next step, share this video with somebody else. I know you guys play with your friends, you've got other people that you play with online. Let them know that I put this video out. Share the link with them, because they can probably improve as well. And again, this is coming from me as somebody who's, well, I'm right there with you guys, right? I am hanging out. I just recently got to Grandmaster 3. I'm hanging out in there. If we go to competitive here, I'm not a top tier player trying to tell you what to do. I'm a player at your level trying to tell you what I notice and what I also noticed about myself. Turn this light down a little bit. It's getting darker outside. What I noticed about myself and how I am finding ways to help myself improve. So I'm right there with you, right? I'm a peer, okay? I'm not the top 1% just being like, oh, you suck, so do this. No, that's not it. This is all meant to be constructive. It's meant to come from the point of view of somebody who's always trying to improve. And as a result, I want to help you guys improve too. So I hope that this video helps you guys. Please share this with a friend, let them know. And if you have not subscribed yet, please take a moment to do so. I'm trying to grow this page and just create a community here. I'm going to be opening up my Discord very soon so we can help each other out with VOD reviews. We can start playing together. We can do all kinds of fun stuff, chat about the game, share memes. I love making memes. It's just going to be a really cool place. So Discord to come very soon. Make sure that you're subscribed. Make sure that you turn on notifications so that you stay tuned and you see the rest of my videos as they come out. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate the time that you've taken out of your day to hang out with me through this video. I will see you guys in the next one very soon. Thank you so much. Cheers.